Hello guys and welcome back to the United Embassy where we're reacting to Manchester United's 1-0 win against Wolverhampton at the Molineux. Struan, you're with me today. Unusual for the match reaction, but we're back and we're here and it's a win with a poor performance, but who cares? We got 3 points.
Yeah, perfect way to sum it up. It was a terrible performance. I was dreading it. I actually missed the last 30 minutes of the game, but I've caught up now and I missed the goal. I've seen the goal and I saw the bad bits. To be honest, we could have been 2-0 down within 5 minutes, but we won.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I feel we have a lot of these kind of performances under Ollie where we just say, we'll just forget the performance and focus on the score because we won. We saw it a lot last season. And I think this is just another one of those where, yeah, we won. Let's really just quickly forget about this one, think about internationals and Ronaldo.
Yeah, we got Ronaldo on the way. He'll be back for the Newcastle game, but we'll focus on this game for now. So if you go through players, we'll talk about underperforming players, and then we'll talk about good performing players for the game. So who was your who do you think had a bad game or underperformed?
Do you know what? I don't want to say these players all had bad games because I didn't think people were bad. There was one player who had a terrible game, without a doubt. It was Fred. I thought he was dreadful. He misplaced a pass in the opening few minutes, which led to, I think, a Jimenez shot that De Gea saved. The ball came to him in the halfway line from a counter-attack from a corner. We look good at set pieces, by the way. We look so much better than last season, both offensively and defensively, but we got caught in the counter-attack, and the ball just sort of bounces off him, and then they go on the counter-attack as well. Wan-Bissaka blocks it on the line, and both of those incidents were in 5 minutes. I thought Fred was totally out of the game today. I thought Pogba had a bad game, but again, I put it on the Twitter account. This is a big chance for him in the pivot. Didn't work out at all. I really don't like that pivot of Fred and Pogba. I think
terrible.
neither of them can screen properly or even just play it simple with passes. Pogba can pass, but the amount of times where he was trying to tackle people, yeah, it's ridiculous. And I felt because they were bad, the three in front of them, Sancho, Fernandez, and
Starved of the ball.
James suffered. Yeah, you could see they were leaving James space. The amount of times James went down the left-hand side, they were doubling up on Sancho. You could see a lot of the time him and Bruno were just unable to get it. And when they did, they were instantly closed down. There was one moment where in the first half, I remember Sancho had the ball and he had Semedo at him, he had Saiz at him, and then Neves came into him as well. And I think he ended up passing it away. And I'm just thinking, he's absolutely surrounded there. And James had a few attempts, but again, it just wasn't one of those games for Daniel James. Greenwood had to drop deep a lot as well because of the midfield. Yeah. You could see that, and you just don't want that from your striker. So for me, Fred had a bad game. Pogba had a very underwhelming game. It's night and day the difference between him when he's playing in that sort of free role in the left compared to when he has to stay in the middle because he's just not good enough. I thought the defence were good, to be perfectly honest. I thought Shaw had some moments. Again, I feel our left-hand side, they were just really good on that side because they were tracking back. I thought Trincao looked really good. Adama Traore was absolutely ridiculously good today. Absolutely he was just mental. The opening half an hour was one of the best performances you'll see from a player in the Premier League. I know he didn't score or get an assist in that time, but he just did it easily. He was just shrugging people off. He shrugged Pogba off a few times, and that's not easy to do. He just got past him. Pogba's known for his skill on the ball, and Adama Traore was just a class above, really. I think he's completed more dribbles than anyone this season, and you can see why. But yeah, for me, the underwhelming players were everybody from the defence up, apart from Greenwood, because Greenwood got the goal. And I think that's a shame to, it was Sancho's debut, but at the same time, I don't think there's much Sancho could have done. It was one of those games where the entire front line was underperforming. It wasn't just a Sancho problem or anything like that. What about yourself? Who sort of stood out to you, perhaps good, who had a good game, be a bit more positive than I was there?
Okay, so I'll just quickly touch on the underperforming player because I don't want to slander Fred. I mean, he's going to receive criticism from this game. He was quite poor. However, I did feel he had too much of a role today. He was given a job to cover Trincao, Adama Traore, the passing lanes from Neves and João Moutinho to Jimenez, and also the crosses. In from the fullbacks as well. So I felt slightly bad for him with his defensive role. In terms of passing, he was absolutely terrible and deserves to never play for Manchester United again. But in terms of how he was defensively, I think he deserves a slight bit of credit for how much he overall had to do. He was given pretty much every single midfield defensive role. Pogba wasn't doing any. And that's not because of Pogba, but it's just not what he does. David De Gea was also very, very, very good. His double save will be the talking point, but I think overall, he actually, believe this or not, Struan, did you watch it? He ran outside his box.
He must have thought it was full time or something, and he left the box. Honestly,
he left his box.
I criticised De Gea a lot for that reason, for not coming out of his box, and I'm so happy he's
And
had a
he
good
claimed a
performance today, to
cross.
be honest.
He claimed a
Yeah,
cross as well.
he was punching stuff. He
I couldn't
looked
believe it.
up for it. Do you know what? I think that defence today as well, I think his confidence, De Gea's, is just going to go up from that just
Yeah.
because of how solid that defence looks. So,
Hopefully
sorry,
we get
back.
hopefully we get his old former self back. But a double save, especially from you've seen it already if you're here. But Sai's two open chances within 6 yards of the goal. David De Gea saves both of them superbly. Um, just absolutely outstanding save, really. It's
There's
just
a really interesting shot in the first half that Adama has, and he takes it, and it takes a nick off Harry Maguire's boot, and De Gea just holds on to it, and he
mm,
dives down to the ground and holds it. And in the past 2 or 3 seasons, I think that seldom
Parry.
like properly claims the ball, and so often he'll sort of save it, it'll go a wee bit in front of him, and he'll catch it again. He just held on to this one, and I thought, that's something we've not seen from De Gea that often. Like from a long shot, he'll often parry it, or as you say, he just won't really get the grip on it. So it was a really good performance from De Gea this season. He's not been too bad, and Solskjaer made a really interesting point that he told Solskjaer over the summer, I'm going to come back to training early this year. I'm going to be back ready, and we saw that I think he came home early from his holidays and stuff like that. So he's obviously got the drive,
Yeah.
and great performance today showed it.
Who else? The whole back line, but I'm gonna specifically mention Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The goal line clearance, and my favourite moment of the match where he absolutely bombed down the left wing. I found it fucking hilarious. But it was almost came at the right time where the team had 5 or 10 minutes of actual ball pressure on the Wolves defence, but nothing was going through the back line. Every single ball over the top was failing. Every single final ball was failing. We weren't creating anything dangerous, but we were trying to put pressure on for creativity. And the team started to drop off after 2 minutes, 3 minutes of this sustained pressure, and we almost seemed okay, this isn't working. Let's recycle, and we lost the ball. It was a bit scrappy, and then Aaron Bissaka gained the ball, went down the left, and it's almost like everyone just went, "Well, if the fucking right back's going down the left wing, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?" So everyone turned up a gear, and it was almost very well suited. I think that moment, the goal line clearance. And again, he's never going to be doing what Trent Alexander-Arnold does in terms of bombing balls in the box, but he does what he does absolutely superbly in terms of tackles, recoveries, the goal line clearance. He actually made a head like the back say
Round.
the header in terms of clearing it out when he was up against Raul Jimenez when he's behind him. Outstanding. So I give a lot of credit to Aaron Bissaka. Pogba, the last half an hour I thought was very, very, very good actually. And he started actually picking his head up and getting his creativity on and sticking up a fight rather than making stupid passes and giving the ball away. Um, who else? Bruno Fernandes does what he normally does. Creative touches, a bit wasteful, but that's Bruno. And he's just going to make high quality, low quantity chances. And I think actually Martial, I think he deserves a bit of credit because I laughed when he came on. I was like, yeah, whatever. We're not gonna score, but Toto Martial off the left actually deserves a run. I think it's time he returns to that role and be like, yeah, because there's a lot of chances where I think if he was up front and he was trying to hold off the centre halves, he wouldn't have got the ball back of the 50-50 tackles, and he was doing it on the left, but he was retaining possession because his dribbling ability was there, and he always had time to make his mind up before he even attacked the defender. But I don't think he gets that in number 9, and he was very, very good as a consequence of that in terms of actually maintaining the ball once we'd scored the goal, and he actually attacked fullbacks and got cut inside when we were trying to always cut on the outside for the first half. So I think he had a good impact and fair play. But the star player that deserves it, then going to get all the headlines. Mason Greenwood, 3 goals now. It's just I think again. I think even though I think his shot should have been saved by Jose Sarr. Is it Jose Sarr? Jose Sarr.
Yeah, just this, yeah.
Even though I think his shot should have been saved, I think the left foot right foot trick again just did it for the goalkeeper. I think he's expecting him to shoot on his left foot and he shoots on his right, and it's gone past him. Tricked the goalkeeper. Again, it should have been saved, but it's a goal, and he looked dangerous on the ball. He looked like he was going to pose a threat. So I don't know how you felt about Mason Greenwood, but for me, I'd say he's man of the match for the winner.
if you'd asked me at the start of the season what would be my first choice front three, I would probably have imagined, Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, Cavani up top.
Mhm.
And now obviously the signing of Ronaldo and just the way Greenwood has started, I feel Greenwood needs to be a starter in this
Yeah,
in this team in that front line somewhere. He's been absolutely incredible. And it's not really, I don't want to make it sound like he's just had a good start to this season because last season he
he ended
finished
well. Yeah,
absolutely amazingly. He was scoring vital goals for us. I mean, I think a lot of people wrote him off at the start of last season when he started a bit slowly, but he's just been unbelievable to be honest. And his finishing is ridiculous. There was one as well today where that just in the first half he was running on the left wing and Bruno flicked it on and he was so far to as he's facing the goal, so far to the left, and he plays it across with his left foot, and it does just glance wide of the post, but it's so
mm.
close from that sort of angle, and I'm thinking his confidence is so high at the moment. He's taking on those chances because it's an incredibly difficult shot. He's only 19. As I said, I think he can play in the right wing. He can play striker. He's doing it really well. He is going to benefit so much from Cristiano Ronaldo. It's
Oh.
unbelievable. We spoke about how
Mhm.
Cavani is going to help him with his movement. Ronaldo's going to help him with absolutely everything up front. You're talking about one of the best forwards of all time is going to come in and help Mason Greenwood. It's great, and Greenwood has that. Greenwood has that goal out of nowhere. We've spoken about how Fernandes and Rashford last season, the two of them could often do that, but no one else in the team sort of had that ability to just find a goal out of nothing. Greenwood's got it. He's just taken it on, and it's just a joy to watch, really, because as you say, 3 goals in 3 games so far. A lot of people were questioning whether he could play centre forward, whether Man United needed
I
to
think he's
sign
answered that.
somebody in that position. And I think he's proved to people like, yeah, I can. Yeah, fair enough. He maybe needs to work on a few things, but he's
Mm.
only 19. Very rarely do you see a striker of top quality play often. Harry Kane broke into the Tottenham team at 21. Greenwood's 2 years behind that, and he's already had a year and a half of first team football at Man United. He's such a talent, and I'm absolutely loving it. As I said, I feel even when Ronaldo comes into the team, I want Sancho on the left wing and Greenwood on the right because as good as Ronaldo is, obviously has to start. You can't drop Greenwood in his
I
current form.
think
He's just immense.
I think until Rashford's back, I think Sancho should play on the left because
Yeah,
he'll be the most qualified left winger, and Greenwood should play on the right and Ronaldo down the middle. I think that's what justifies until Rashford's back. Rashford, until he's back, at least doesn't cause the issue of who plays where.
do you know what sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say it's going to become a right little balancing issue for Ole, isn't it? Not a bad one,
It's
but
going to
it's
be
going
a
to be an
nightmare.
issue.
Well, on a positive, I'm just thinking there, a lot of people have been worried about how last season Rashford was constantly played, even though he was dealing with an injury, and people were saying, don't rush him back, don't rush him back, let him take his time. There's absolutely no need
No
to
rush.
rush Rashford back because you've got Martial, you've got Ronaldo can play on the left wing if he needs to. I can't believe I'm saying that. Ronaldo can play on the left wing, needs to. Dan James can play on the left wing. Sancho can do it. I'd put Greenwood there any day of the week as well. Lingard can do it. There's absolutely no need for Rashford to be rushed back until he is, as fit as can be, basically. And it's absolutely great. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with Mason Greenwood, and I feel he's really unlucky not to be in that England team because I think he's the best finisher England have after Harry Kane. He's not as good a striker perhaps as Danny Ings, Calvert-Lewin, Patrick Bamford, etc. are. They're obviously about a decade older than Greenwood is, but I think on any
I
day
think
he's just there. His
I
finishing is
think I read a
fantastic.
quote from Southgate where he said they would have got in, but he's chosen to stay at the club, or something along those lines, where the club and him and everyone felt it was best for him to stay at United across the international break. Um, but yeah, I just want to note on quickly how the comparison between our moods for the last video and this video.
Oh, it's
The last
ridiculous.
uploaded video,
Like
everyone watched it already. It's pretty much us going, "Oh my god, the midfield shit. Oh, Ronaldo's joined City. Oh, that no. Okay,
Tom
and
he's having surgery now.
yeah, and now look at us.
De
We've
Gea's crap.
yeah, now De Gea's pulled out a very good
He's not.
performance. He's came out his box. Fred,
I know.
okay, yeah, maybe that's not solved yet. But Ronaldo hasn't joined City. He's joined United.
He's joined us.
Yo, listen, we're not title contenders. We're title contenders, but we're still a DM off. We'll talk about that in another video,
Yeah.
but we're a DM off. Anyway, for the result for Wolves, I'm very happy. It's games like this we need to win if we're gonna go seriously for the Premier League title, and today we've won it.
Just to touch on the opposition quickly before we finish here, just give praise. I hated playing Wolves, and we seemed to play them constantly under Nuno. Not because I didn't like the team, I just thought they
Boring.
were very boring. I mean, it was effective football. I've got no qualms with that at all. I praise Nuno for what he did with them. I just hated watching them because I
Mm.
thought we just struggled to break them down. The amount of 1-0,
Pragmatic.
0-0s. Yeah, it was just horrible football to watch, and we seem to play them so often. But watching that game today, Wolves are a really exciting team. You know,
Yeah.
I'd seldom actually watch them play, whoever they were playing in the Premier League, because I knew it was going to be a bit of an iffy affair, a bit boring. But under Bruno Lage, I know they haven't scored in their opening 3 games, but once they start putting the ball in the back of the net, they've signed Hwang Hee-chan from Leipzig on loan as well. I don't know if he'll help, but once they like break the duck and put the ball in the back of the net, they are going to be absolutely fantastic. So just credit to Wolves. I think
They could have
I know
made that
we
game
walked away
very
with the
boring
win,
though,
but
and they
yeah,
chose not
fully.
to.
They could have won that game as well. To be honest, they
Yeah,
easily could have.
easily.
As I said, they could have had 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes had it not been for a De Gea save and a Wan-Bissaka off the line clearance. So yeah, praise Wolves. Credit to Wolves. They were absolutely. I think they were fantastic at times. To be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so that's mine and Sturen's reaction to Manchester United beating Wolverhampton. It feels good to say that now. We're back with a 1-0 win, like it's Jose Mourinho time.
And we have broken Arsenal's undefeated away record
Oh,
of
we haven't
28
mentioned
games
that.
in a row
28
without a
games.
defeat, which is fantastic. We are invincibles away from home. The last game I think we lost away from home was 2020 in January against Burnley, I think.
I'm not
Or
sure.
was that Old Trafford?
Is it Sheffield United?
Oh no, it
That's
might have
Old
been
Trafford.
Liverpool. I think it was Liverpool in 2020. It was the last
We'll
game we
know.
lost
We'll
away.
find out.
Either
Well,
way,
I want 38 because if we have 38, then we've got essentially an entire season's worth of
full
games.
season undefeated. Yeah. But yeah, that's such a credit. I know there's a lot of problems with this team over the past few years, and I know there still are issues with it, questions to be made over the manager, etc., etc. But absolutely fantastic. The mentality of these players deserve it. You know, 28 games undefeated away from home. People will say that having no fans has helped that, but at the same time, it's an absolutely unbelievable achievement, and I think they deserve massive praise for that.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what we've got coming up next on the channel. We're trying to edit the Premier League show. For some reason, the software isn't having it. But we'll try and get one out soon, ASAP. We've got Newcastle coming up. Is Newcastle next? Is that next game? That's September 11th.
Newcastle on the 11th, where a
Ronaldo makes his
certain
debut.
player may make his debut.
Oh, I'm trying to get tickets so bad. I've messaged so many people. I want to be at Old Trafford.
Oh, everybody! It's not even going to be on TV. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday.
Surely,
and Sky
surely they're going to
fuming.
try and get someone to.
Imagine,
They'll pay
imagine the phone call
millions.
to whoever's the 5:30 kickoff just to say you're going to be moved 2.5 hours early. Oh, why?
Ronaldo.
Hang up the phone.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. The club's not as big as this player. Your club isn't that big. Yeah, but it's done a lot for the old Glazer brand, hasn't it? Anyway, we should move on. We'll talk about Ronaldo in a separate video. Maybe that's the next video. We'll see you soon, and have a good week or good weekend until you're done. Just celebrate well. Have a pint. See you later.